It's a good angle, this one, isn't it? Conducive, space conducive for filming. Anyway, I'm down in Moe today, actually. Fair drive. Having a look at this VRV-S. It's part of like a supermarket that this one does, like the manager's office and the lunchroom. The complaint is that it's not working properly. So this was one of the, like our mech team installed these ones. But they're also run by a BMS system from a third-party company. So we have nothing to do with that. So what they're trying to work out is whether or not it's the unit or if it's the BMS system that is the issue for this. So what I'm going to do, got all the gear, we can plug into it with our service checker, go over the data, have a look at it, and what we'll do is we'll disconnect it from the BMS system so I can run it independently. Basically they're saying that the rooms are just, the rest of the building is sitting at 20 and this one and these two rooms are sitting at 17 degrees. So yeah, we'll jump into getting the service tool plugged in. Just in case anyone is wondering. All right, we're basically all plugged in, so we can jump into the service checker tool. All right. We're connected. We're just creating the map now. Units will start filtering through shortly. Here we go. And that's our system there. Great thing about the service checker is it basically just whatever's connected to the D3 network, it'll pick up. So with the Mitzi one, you can obviously only monitor 3 systems at a time. But this, yeah, like I said, you can monitor pretty much everything. So it's fantastic in that regard. Anyway, that thing's just stopped. So we will wait for it to fire back up and then we'll jump into monitoring some data. Actually, I'm going to record as well. Go. So this is the this is the data for the system that we are looking at now. So I'll just wait for it to fire back up, and I'm just going to start scrolling through, see if anything obvious stands out. Be surprised if it does. It's a brand new system, but things do happen. Just while I'm letting this monitor for a bit and everything kind of stabilize, just going to excuse me. Go have a look at those indoor units and just do a visual on those. Well, this certainly isn't helping the situation. Hold on. So not the worst, but definitely needs a clean. Lovely. All right, so people are talking in those offices and stuff, so I won't have had any sound, weren't able to explain basically what I was looking at there, but essentially what we're looking at here, right? So this system here runs those 2 indoor units. So one's a manager's office, one's a staff room, right? Now the master of those is the office, but it's also run through a BMS system, right? So now on the BMS system, they've locked out the fact that they can't change anything. So that master controller that's operating those 2 systems, or the master in the manager's office, which basically dictates what that system does, so heating or cooling, is working really well, but it's overshooting, right? So it's heating up really nicely, then it goes into cooling mode, so then it drops to cooling mode, and then it goes back to heating mode. And they're not able to turn it on or off. They can't do anything. So it's obviously heating up the space and it's cooling that space. Now the byproduct of that is that other system in the lunchroom, which also has the door open, is constantly cold, right? Because it's wanting to run in heating mode the entire time, but it's dictated by the other controller. So it's constantly sitting at 17 degrees, even though the set point is 25, and that system is also going into heating and cooling. It's obviously not cooling because it's 17 degrees and it's set for 25 on the temperature there, but it's just going into cooling mode and then just, you know, circulating that 17-degree room temp air. So what we're going to try to do, just to, you know, basically confirm our theory, is we're going to disconnect the BMS system, run this system independently. I'm going to turn that manager's office off and just run solely that, solely that lunchroom system, and we're going to watch that room temp rise. So this is our BMS interface here. Now the theory is if I disconnect the LAN cable, that's going to disconnect the comms between this and the BMS, and I'll be able to test it as an independent system, right? So, I mean, I've never done that before. I reckon it sounds legit, but you guys might be screaming at me through the computer or TV or phone or something. But yeah, we'll find out if it works in a sec. Alrighty, there we go. Leave that up there until we're done. Oh. Interesting. So it didn't work just by disconnecting it. So I'm wondering if I actually have to, like, you know, reset the system so it doesn't get sent the same command. You know, who knows? We'll see if this works. It's probably been long enough. All right, well, let's just kill power to it, I guess, see what happens. Beautiful. Let's go see if we can manually control our thermostats now. Okay, well, new plan. Let's see if I can turn it off from here. So I've got to remember which one's which, actually. So it's this one. This is the manager's office, 1-04, group address 1-04. So if I go here, let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, it's off. Let's hope the BMS doesn't turn it back on. Son of a bitch. All right, last plan. I've just disconnected the F1, F2 wires from the actual D-Max control. So this should surely work. Alrighty, I've been able to get that manager's office off. So now we should just be able to monitor, where are we? I'm gonna watch the room temp of this unit here. So yeah, we'll have a squeeze. Room temp's gone up. I think it was 17.5. I'll have to go back and review the footage, but it is slowly going up. Actually, I shouldn't even say slowly. It's only been running independently for about 15 minutes, so it's looking pretty good. We'll keep monitoring. The indoor LED pulses are opening up a fair bit, so that might be something. But anyway, I'll keep monitoring. You can see we're slowly climbing, but this is obviously with the door open as well, so I might even just close it. Yep, I will close it. Had to get together some kind of power source, so I was able to just make it with everything that I had back to the unit. So anyway, so I've gone ahead and chucked some probes just on my liquid and discharge line there. All right, because what I'm seeing, Jesus. All right, so what we can see here, so our space temp's going up. It's now sitting at 21 degrees. What we can see though is my LEV pulse is basically fully open, right? So inlet gas pipe temps 68 degrees or 67 degrees, which is pretty good. And liquid pipe temps 39 degrees, right? So that's making, I'll throw the screen grab up of what I was getting before, but my liquid line was saying 42. So where are we? So we're sitting about 9K subcooling on this unit, right? So these ones are looking for 5K subcool. Actually, I'll show you. So this is just in that this is just in the manual for this particular unit, but basically you can see here. So that's what it's looking at to get subcooling number, and that's to say normally 5 degrees, right? But what ends up happening is that LEV will keep opening, pretty much trying to get, let me scroll all back down again. So pretty much trying to get the liquid pipe temp up, right? So it's reading 5K between that liquid pipe temp and then the transducer, high pressure transducer at the outdoor unit. And it'll keep opening until it gets there, but it's just not getting there, right? So what I might do, sometimes they'll have like fresh air supplies to the unit, and that can kind of throw off your liquid pipe temp readings or your coil readings anyway. I don't think that's the case here actually, but let's just, we'll go in and have a quick squiz at that indoor unit just to, just to have a look at something I'm thinking of. Okay, so another issue outside of using a heat pump instead of a heat recovery. So the office space and the lunchroom, the lunchroom is slightly bigger, right? And it's also a high use area. So the 2 unit sizes, I've got a 3.2 and a 5, right? The 5 is in the office and the 3.2 is in the lunchroom. I'm gonna hazard a guess, it probably should have been flipped, and the 5 kilowatt was supposed to go into the lunchroom and the 3.2 was supposed to go into the office, which also would explain why we're overheating in the office space enough that it kicks back into cooling mode. There's not much I can do about that. What I actually can do, and what I think I will do, is I'm going to change the master controller to the lunchroom, and that way, even if the office does, bang on, heat up to temp, it's not going to go into cooling and then shift the other mode into cooling. I think that's the, a happy medium, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to go shift that now. That's what I'm going to do. System's actually just gone into a defrost, so both units are now running. I've changed the master controller to read from the lunchroom there, so it's obviously a high use area. It's colder, they leave the door open. The office is a smaller space and the doors are closed, and realistically there's one person in there, maybe a quarter of the day. So having the master set to the lunchroom is going to eliminate that, office unit banging on, heating up, going into cooling, banging off. I've also spoken to the external company that runs the BMS here, and they've taken all the prohibits off the controllers now. So yeah, honestly, outside of that, there's not much more I can do. I'm going to monitor the data a little bit more. I think these units are doing the best that they can given the circumstance. So realistically, the main problem here is that, again, they've used a heat pump where they probably should have used a heat recovery, so can't do much about that. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here unless something else pops up that's exciting, but thank you very much for watching.